Apple, okay? Before they announce their 4-to-1 split, this is before they're announcing their 4-to-1 split. They're about to announce a 4-to-1 split. They become a $2 trillion company. So let me kind of put this into perspective. Steve Jobs dies. Apple is worth $100 billion, okay? Years later, after he's dead, the company's valuation has increased $1.9 trillion. Under a peaceful leader, Tim Cook, he continued the tradition of what they did, but now it is a $2 trillion company during the pandemic. Adam, since you do a lot of content having to do with money and finance, tell us what you think about Apple being a $2 trillion company. Is it still a good bet? If I'm listening to this, I got $50,000. Should I go buy some Apple stock right now?
I mean, the rich get richer with this Apple. Unbelievable, right? When did they hit $1 trillion? Like 3 years ago?
No, they hit $1 trillion like a year and a half ago.
Yeah. A year and a half ago.
Yeah,
So less
very
recently.
Yeah.
So a year and a half ago, they hit $1 trillion. Huge news. Huge news.
Yep.
Okay.
Huge.
So in less than 2 years, they're now a $2 trillion company.
Yeah.
That App Store 30% thing is really crushing it, right? I mean, unbelievable. So to answer your question, if you got 50 G's, I don't think you just put it all in Apple. However, I mean, kids out there, if you're listening, get a Roth IRA, get a 401k, get an IUL from PHP, free plug. But the 4-to-1 stock split, I think, is going to make the stock very accessible to the common investor, don't you think?
So are you saying yes? I'm asking you. So should I buy some Apple stock right now?
It could not hurt.
Do you think Apple in the next 10 years is going to end up being a $10 trillion company?
Well, I mean, that's such an aggressive number, 10 trillion. I mean,
they went from 100 billion to 2 trillion. That's 20x.
That's ridiculous.
Do you think they're going to go from 2 trillion to 10 trillion in the next 10 years?
I mean, how do you bet against Tim Apple at this point? You just can't.
Tim Apple or Cook?
No, sorry, I'm making fun of Trump because Trump called him Tim Apple.
Oh, really?
How'd you not pick that one up, Feuerstein?
I love
setting you up, bro.
Tim Apple.
I'm here with my boy Tim Apple. I said Tim Cook, dude. It's on tape. You called him Tim Apple. Anyway, for $1 trillion, I'd change my last name to Apple. No.
Yeah.
So is it going to 10 trillion or no?
Okay,
10
look.
trillion, Josh.
Look here on this desk and ask yourself how many Apple products we have. At least 4. 5. 5 just on this desk alone, and we're looking over
7,
here.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
There's more Apple in this room than in the Garden of Eden, okay? There's a lot of Apple here. So, but my question to you, actually I have 2, okay? Technology changes quickly, all right? So you just never know what the next guy comes out with quickly, but Apple has built a very strong brand. I mean, they put just a ton of money into their brand. My next question for you, though, Pat, in regards to this, is does this make Tim Cook as effective as a leader, as a visionary, or even just as a CEO as Steve Jobs was? Steve Jobs was a visionary. But, I mean, Tim Cook has taken over, and obviously you've seen what he's done since he's has taken the reins. Where does this rank Tim Cook in the land of CEOs, even past ones like Jobs?
So let me ask you a question. Tell me the greatest president of all time. Who's the greatest president of all time?
Don't say it, Josh.
Hang on a second.
Don't frickin' say it, Josh.
Who do you think is the greatest president of all time?
So
at the end of their career, so you can't say Trump. So who's the greatest president of all time?
I have to go George Washington, and
Okay.
simply because he was the man. He bled for the country, served the country, was the visionary. So I'm gonna have to go Washington.
Okay. So who's the second greatest president of all time?
Bro, there's so many.
I'm so curious to know who you're going to say. Who's your greatest
He's
president?
obviously dying to say
But
Trump.
who are you going to
obviously.
say? You're going to say Jimmy Carter?
No,
The peanut farmer? No.
maybe Lincoln. I mean, you
Okay.
could
I mean,
all right.
Lincoln.
Okay.
Right? JFK, gone too soon. Rest in peace.
So let's say George Washington and Lincoln. You pretty much explained Apple. George Washington is Jobs. Lincoln is Cook. Let's just say if we look at it that way, right?
Sure.
So let's unpack that and what that means. Now, there's an area of Apple that they have to be very careful with. And this is my thoughts. I'll share that with you. The thing I like about what Tim Cook did is the following. See, we're going to go through the what do you call it, our picks for the NBA playoffs, right? I don't like the way LeBron is. This is the first time where I'm not like diehard Lakers. I don't even know why. I was a diehard Lakers when they had Sedale Treat. I was a diehard Lakers when they had nothing going on. Eddie Jones, Eldon Campbell, Tony Smith. I mean, there was nothing going on. They played basketball, is what they did. The priority was, we're going to go play basketball, and then our personal life and politics, it is what it is, right? Tim Cook is the first open gay CEO, Fortune 100 company. I'm gay. I'm a CEO of a Fortune 100 company, but my responsibility is to my shareholders. And if I need to have a good relationship with President Trump, even though I disagree with him on 90% of issues, he is still the president. You got to give so much credit to Tim Cook, more than Trump, by the way. My credit goes to Tim Cook because the risk isn't on Trump. Trump looks good standing next to Tim Cook. Tim Cook doesn't look good standing next to Trump, to his audience and his following, right? So he got up and he set aside politics and said, listen, we have a new product. We have to work with the White House. We need protection. We have to be worried about what's going on with China. He made the tough decision, which I applaud him tremendously for being willing to do that, and he took the company to $2 trillion valuation. Who won? All the investors that decided to put their hard-earned money into what? Apple. So now, there's a book I read called Barbarians to Bureaucrats by Lawrence Miller. I called Lawrence Miller one day. I said, Lawrence, I got to buy this book. He said, you can buy it at Barnes & Noble. I said, no, I want to buy the rights to this book because, you know, you haven't sold this book. I can sell this book. This is a sick book, right? We had a conversation together. And he talks about every civilization, every organization, every society, every country, every company goes through different phases. Phase number one, you have a prophet, okay? And the prophet is who? Steve Jobs. Phase number two, the prophet attracts barbarians. In this case, he was a prophet and a barbarian. It's what made him unique because he was willing to go out and go to war, but he was also the prophet, the idea of Apple. Then comes the builder and the explorer. Let's go build here. Let's explore here. Tim Cook. Let's go do a little bit of this. Then comes the administrator, which starts putting laws, regulations, all this other stuff. Then's the bureaucrats. There's the aristocrats. Apple hasn't yet shown up to the bureaucrats and aristocrats. That's more what happened to Kmart. That's more what happened to Sears. That's more what happened to some of these other companies. However, you need a synergist to bring him back. Tim Cook's done a great job being a builder, explorer, and an administrator. Kai and I talked about this yesterday. The one part that Apple has to be very careful with, here's the part. Jobs died when? 2006? Can you tell me what year he died? I don't know what year he died, but he died 10, 15 years ago, right? Can you tell me what new innovative product Apple has come out with since 2011, 9 years ago? 2011. Since Jobs died 9 years ago, what new products have they come out with? Tell me a new innovative product they've come out with.
So that's a very, very fair point. I mean, there's literally nothing. They've just made the mousetrap better or faster, more, you know. But I've also heard that tech companies like Apple actually take their technology and they actually stagger it. Like, they don't bring it out immediately. It may sit on the shelf for 5, 6, 7 years, which is why they're still rolling out stuff that Jobs did. Like, so essentially there was a vault with like 7 or 8 years worth of products that they roll out. And even though, just kind of interesting, because here they'll have a new technology, they don't go straight to market with it, which I don't know. Like, what kind of business plan is that? Except they're so confident that nobody is at their level that they can sit on tech.
Don't you find it interesting that Apple, you know, and Pat, I think you'll appreciate this metaphor. Apple used to be the David, and now they're the Goliath, right? I mean, I remember there were the days when they were just trying, hey, you know, we're a quirky little upstart tech company. We've got quirky little ideas. Now, literally, you got Epic Games reversing course and, you know, calling them the Hunger Games.
Are you going somewhere with this?
I'm just going right there with it.
That's
where I'm going.
You are.
I'm not going anywhere else. I want to stay right here.
I'm waiting for the climax.
I'm setting you up for the David Goliath analogy.
Hey. Well, so
the Apple Watch. They came out with the Apple Watch.
And they did come out with AirPods. However, AirPods was just a better mousetrap.
It's not a product. It's not a product that like. So the only thing I'm saying, I think Tim Cook, guys, 9 years ago, Apple's worth $100 billion. 9 years later, it's worth $2 trillion. That's 20x. That's not a joke, by the way, to do that. When Jobs died, everybody's like, well, let's see what's going to happen to Apple. Let's see what's going to happen to Apple. And Tim Cook's done an outstanding job. He's got to get a shout out. I sent him a tweet the other day, and he liked it. And I just gave him credit. I said, I just want you to know what you've done is very impressive, Tim Cook. So I got to give that part credit. The only part I am concerned about is a new product coming out, and we'll see what's going to happen.